The key is to be proactive about it. Don't wait until someone drains your bank account. Don't wait until someone files a tax return in your name. Always think about what could possibly go wrong. There's even a book about this, Only the Paranoids Survive, by Andy Grove, the famous Intel CEO. And he's right. Paranoids do survive. I have personal experience of this one. Somebody who is always preparing for a problem and thinking about the possible solution do come out just fine when the problem does come to them. And here's why this matters so much right now. According to the Federal Trade Commission, over 1.1 million Americans reported their identity theft happened in 2024 alone. And that's over 1 million people. Experts say a new victim is created every 22 seconds in the United States. Every 22 seconds, the US has a population of 340 million people. That means 1 out of 3 Americans, that's 30%, have been a victim of identity theft at some point in their life. This isn't some rare thing that's happening to others. This is happening to people you know right now as we talk right now. And here is what really gets me. People's bank accounts get wiped out because of this problem. Life savings gone. We spent enormous amount of money protecting ourselves from small problems like a security system, insurance policies, warranties. But this is not a small problem. It affects almost a third of the population. And trust me on this one, once the money is gone, it never comes back. You can go to any government agency you want. I have yet to see any one of them recover any money from this problem. The IRS will not help you. The FBI will not help you. Your bank might reverse some charges if you catch it fast enough. But your life saving, that's gone. That's why prevention is everything. Hi, my name is Dhiren. I'm a co-founder of D2 Tax. I've been doing tax preparations and bookkeeping for about 15 years now. And part of what we do is we help clients navigate the aftermath when their identities have been stolen already. It's a mess, it's expensive, and it's time consuming. And I don't want that to happen to you. So let me show you what I see happening and how to stop it before it starts. But first, let me tell you about a friend of mine here in Austin, Texas. Smart guy, runs his own business, tech savvy, careful with his money, and he just lost $4,000 to a scam call. $4,000 gone in about 15 minutes. And before you think that's not gonna happen to you, well, you're gonna have to stick around because I will tell you stuff that's going to change your mind. All right, so let me break down the top ways identity theft happens and what you can do about it. Some of these are obvious. Some of them, you probably are doing them right now without realizing the risk of it. Phone scammers, the IRS impressions. And look, I wish I could tell you the scammers are just a random people making lucky calls, but the reality is they are running it like a business. I am sure they have their own business conference, ScamCon 2025, how to extract money from unsuspected victims. I'm sure they are selling a course to other scammers, my 7-figure scammer system. Turns cold calls into cash. Okay, jokes aside, the point is we don't know what their next move is going to be, but we can do obvious things to protect ourselves. And that's what we are going to cover today. Whether you are a homeowner, a landlord, running a business, or just somebody who wants to protect their information, it applies to every one of you. Okay, so let me show you exactly how they got my friend. Tuesday afternoon, he's at his office in Austin. His phone rings, and the guy says he's from the IRS. Sir, there is a major issue with your tax return. We have detected fraud activity. We need to resolve this immediately, or there will be legal consequences. He creates a panic situation, creates the urgency, and he says, stay on the phone with me right now, and I'm going to help you fix this right now. Now here's why it worked. The call came from a number that looked like it came from the IRS. They had his full name, they had his address, and they referred his business. It felt legitimate. So he thought it sounds real, let's just handle this. So he kept him on the phone, told him he couldn't hang up the phone or the case would escalate. Said if he does not comply, federal agents would be dispatched to his business. They are good at this, and they know how to create fear and urgency. Why? They know exactly how to make smart people make mistakes like this. So this is what happened next. They asked him for the information like social security number, account number, details to verify his identity, and because they acted like it is urgent, he gave in and he provided all the information because he thought it's a legitimate call. And by the time he realized it was a scam, they had already drained his bank account for $12,000. And the worst part, he calls me right after this happens to him and I had to break this to him. I had to tell him that the IRS will never contact you or collect any debt this way. They always send you mails and correspondences. And this was an unfortunate event. Here's the truth. The IRS will never call you like that. They send letters, physical letters, or electronic notices. Here's the truth. The IRS will never call you like that. They send letters, physical letters, or electronic notices if you are set up for them. But the scammers know people usually get physical mail from the IRS. So they can pretend to be following up on the mail. This is how they get people. This is usually how they get people. They ask questions like, did you receive our letter about your tax debt? Or did you get the letter recently? Might have been in the junk mail, might have been somewhere else, and now you're thinking it's probably real, and that's kind of how they get you. If everything was electronic, you knew every IRS communication comes through a secured portal. That phone call would have been immediately red flagged. IRS calls me? No. IRS is calling me? No. They only contact me through the secure portal. This is a scam. Goodbye. If you had an access to an online portal from the IRS, a call like that would have been flagged in the very first minute, and you knew if there was any communication they wanted to do with you, there is a secure portal out there that you have access to 24/7, and you could have avoided this situation within the first minute of this conversation. Going paperless makes scammers easier to spot. And for people like my friend who trust the system, that extra layer of protection is critical. If he had been set up electronically, he would have known the IRS only contacts him through the secure portal. The phone call would have been an instant red flag. Way number 2, physical theft of documents from your mailbox. Let's talk about mail theft. Every piece of mail that comes to your house has an information on it. Your name, your address, your account number, tax information, and business details. You see, someone's going to go through your mailbox, your trash, your recycle bin. They have got everything they need, and I can guarantee you there's probably a course out there saying Mailbox Mining 101, how to turn trash into cash. Jokes aside, look, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm telling you this stuff happens every day. Mail theft is one of the easiest way for someone to have their identity stolen, and you wouldn't even know it until it has already happened to you. Now compare that to electronic deliveries. IRS notices comes to you via an email or a secured portal. State tax correspondence, electronic notifications. Business documents, secure online access. Nobody's digging through your mailbox. Nobody's stealing with your information on it. Nobody can steal any information from that. Everything is encrypted. Everything requires an authentication to access, and it is much safer. And the bonus, scammers can call you and say we sent you a letter when you know everything comes electronically. Makes their job a lot more harder. Good. Way 3, delayed notification, missed time sensitive information. Here's one thing people don't think about as identity theft, but it absolutely is. Timing. Whether you are an individual taxpayer, a business, or a mid-sized corporation, nobody wants to get notified a week or 2 later, but that's exactly what happens with the physical mail. See, the IRS sends you notifications on the 1st. Let's talk about this. The IRS sends you a notification on the 1st. It arrives at your house on the 5th. You are now on vacation, or busy, or working in the field, or mail piles up, and you finally see it on the 12th. That's almost 2 weeks later. And if the letter is time sensitive, you might have already missed the deadline by now, and the penalties might have already been added. The response window might have already been closed. And then you're calling the IRS like, but this, that, I was busy. And the IRS, not my problem. Penalty stands. You can give them all the reasons you want. The IRS just does not buy your excuse, and those penalties are not abated. Meanwhile, scammers are probably taking notes. Oh, delayed mail deliveries. Let's add that to our playbook. While electronic deliveries, IRS posts the notices, you get the email immediately, notification. Let's say you are in Europe, you pull it up on your phone, you are at your conference, you can check it on your laptop, you're working in the field, you can read that at night. You know about it as soon as they are posted. Not a week later, not 2 weeks later, immediately. You have to know this is real. And you know it's real because it's in your secure portal, and you're not getting notified by some random phone call from some scammer. And here's what people love about this. You can access everything from anywhere you are. Secure online portal, log in from anywhere you are in the world. Need to check on old notes, it's there. Need to download a document, click, done. Need to respond to something, handle it from your phone. You are not tied to your physical mailbox anymore. You are not waiting for a piece of paper to show up. You have access right now from anywhere. Now, number 4, public record exposure. Your address is out there. Number 4 is public record exposure. Now let me talk about something else that's related to protecting yourself. Privacy protection through registered agent services. This is especially important for anyone who owns any type of physical real estate, whether it's your house, a rental property, an apartment, a commercial building, any of it. It becomes very important if you have any of this to not have your personal information on the public record. And you can do that by using a service called the registered agent. Here's the situation. If you own a property, a home, a rental property, commercial property, or anything, your name and address are public records. Anyone can look you up. They can literally just type up your name on Google and they have a list of all the assets you own if it's under your name. That's crazy simple for somebody to get the most important information via public record. Why does this matter? Because there's about 50,000 lawyers in the United States, and I'm pretty sure they have business conferences too. Personal Injury Profit 2025, How to Find Deep Pockets, Slip and Fall, Gold Mines, Advanced Property Owner Targeting, you name it. Believe it or not, this one is worse than identity theft. But you should hear about this, you should know about this. Look, I'm not saying these lawyers are bad, but there are lawyers out there sitting there waiting for a small accident to happen. Someone slips on your property, someone claims they got hurt, kid falls on the sidewalk, and boom, they have a payday. They track you, and what these lawyers do, they start tracking the owner of the property. They look up public records, they find your home address, now they know where you live. They use this information to come up with a plaintiff and extract money from you. They are literally shopping for target based on public property records. Look, the aggressive lawyer part, I can't get mad at them for doing their job. They have to make a living or money somehow. After all, they have a family to feed and bills to pay. I can't blame them for doing their job. But if you own something that they can use against you, they're gonna want to use that and drag you into an expensive court settlement. That's why it is very important for you to structure your business in a way that if somebody tries to look up your information on the public record, they can't find anything that you actually own. They should not be able to find any information on anything that has your name tied to it. Are you getting what I'm saying? I hope it's starting to make sense. So this is what happens. When you use a registered agent service like what we offer, you can't easily track down where you actually live. All mail goes to registered agent address, not your home. Legal notices go to the registered agent. Business correspondences goes to the agents. Original document goes to the agent. Your original home address, not on the public record at all. And your personal home address, it is not on the public record. And if you really want to protect yourself, you can even structure your ownerships through an LLC or a trust, keeping your name off of public record entirely. But that's a topic for another day. The point is, services like this can cost you between $200 to $300 maximum a year. But that $200 or $300 can keep you away from much bigger problems that you are not anticipating. Someone's trying to sue you. They can't find your home address. Someone's trying to target you based on what you own. They hit a wall. They have to go through a registered agent, which creates a distance and makes it less attractive target for them. Usually the way it works is somebody who's trying to look for a plaintiff is going to look for easy targets. And easy targets are people who are not using their registered agent address. They are using their home address for all their rental properties, all of their assets, their business, their vehicles, and it becomes so much easier for them. And those individuals are easy targets. They're not going to go out there and target somebody who has their registered agent address, because that registered agent, their job is to protect your identity. They are never going to share your name and your address of the person who owns this asset. And that creates a brick wall, a firewall for aggressive attorneys that they hit, and they can't make any progress. And they much rather go after the low-hanging fruits, which you are not, by the way, because you're not putting your name or your address on anything you own. That couple $100 is going to be one of the best insurance you can buy for yourself and protect your identity, your name, your home address. A plaintiff can barely get hold of you, and if they do get a hold of your registered agent, they hit a brick wall. If they see a registered agent address, they're not going to pursue it. But here's the thing, you cannot go back and do anything after a plaintiff has already found out your address. For example, let's say you own an apartment building and you put your home address as the mailing address for your home. Now the plaintiff has your address. When you realize there is a lawsuit coming at you, if you rush and try to get a registered agent and put their address instead, the public records are going to scream and tell them that it's you who just now changed the address of the owner, technically, who is the address of the registered agent. And at that point, it's going to be of no use, because they have the most important information, who you are, who owns the asset, and where they live. Now you may be thinking, Dhiren, I am not a big real estate investor. I don't own real properties. Why do I have to care about this? Here's why. Everyone is vulnerable. If you own a home, you're on the public records. If you get mail from the IRS or state agency, you are vulnerable to scammers. If time-sensitive information sits in your mailbox, you are at risk of identity theft or penalties or fees or interest or late payment. There's so many things I can count. Generally, a registered agent would mail you whatever you have electronically, so you will have access to those mails earlier. if you are not able to completely eliminate your use of your personal address and physical mails. Going paperless protects you in multiple ways. Security. No physical document with any of your information is going to be sitting out there in the mail or trash can. And the timing. You know about an important notice immediately, not days later or weeks later. And the privacy part of it, for property owners, registered agent services keep your personal information private. Access. Everything is available anywhere, anytime on your fingertips. Scam protection. You know how government agencies contact you. Make false call pretty obvious. Not just the big guys. This isn't for big corporations or real estate tycoons. This is for anyone who files taxes, owns properties, even just your home, gets government correspondences, wants to protect their family from scammers. If you ever opened a LLC, you are required to have a registered agent. If my friend had been set up electronically, that phone call would have been an instant red flag. Instead, it costed him $4,000. $4,000 because he didn't knew how the IRS actually communicates. You may have an objection, but then what if I miss a mail notification? Set up an alert. Flag important senders. Check your secure portal regularly. You know what's easier to miss? A piece of paper buried in a pile of junk mail. Or better yet, a scammer pretending to follow up on a piece of mail you never got. Isn't electronic delivery less secure? Are you serious? Electronic is encrypted, requires authentication, at least if you have set them up correctly, leaves an audit trail. Physical mail, anyone can open your mail. Scammers can call you pretending to be the IRS. Which one sounds more secure to you? I like having physical copies. Great. Download them, print them if you want, but get the notifications electronically first. Then you can decide whether to print it or not. And you know it's real because it came from a secure portal. Let me tell you what I do personally, because I practice what I'm preaching. These are actual steps I take every single day. First, I keep everything electronic. Every notification, every statement, every document. If it can be delivered electronic, that's how I receive it. No physical mail is going to be sitting in my mailbox with my information sitting on it. Second, I never keep no more than $10,000 in any checking account. Ever. Why? Because checking accounts are the most vulnerable. That's where debit cards are linked to. That's where scammers go first. If they get access to my checking account, the damage is limited to $10,000 max. That's worst case scenario if I have gone completely rogue and not being careful at all. Third, all my savings are in accounts that I don't have a checkbook from. No debit card either. None. The only way I access that money is I go online and make a transfer. And that requires two-factor authorization and authentication on my cell phone. Emails can be hacked, but my phone, I have it in my hand. Fourth, if I had monies I didn't need to touch for a while, I put it into a CD, certificate of deposits. Why? Because while it sits there and earning interest, it usually cannot be accessed. It's locked. Even if a scammer somehow got into my account, they can't touch money in the CDs. It's safe from this type of fraud, and it is earning me interest while it is sitting there protected. Fifth, I never use debit cards. I especially never access ATM from shady places. Only banking centers. In fact, I don't even carry a debit card on me anywhere nowadays in this world. Why? Nowhere in the world. Why? Because a debit card is linked directly to your bank account. Someone steals it, somebody accesses your debit card or its numbers, they are pulling money straight out of your checking account. Instead, I use credit cards, always. Credit cards can protect you from scammers. If someone makes a fraudulent charge on your credit card, you can dispute it. The credit card company investigates and you are not liable for a scam. The money never left your account. It left their account. With a debit card, that money is gone from your account immediately. And good luck getting it back. These aren't complicated or high-level strategies. These simple steps that I follow are not some high-tech or difficult things to do. They are simple, easy steps that anybody can use. Does not involve spending any extra money at all in most cases. And God forbid if somebody does crack all of this and they are able to steal money from your account, the damage is going to be limited. And that's how you protect yourself. You are compartmentalizing everything, and that's how you protect yourself. Even the IRS deals with this. And let me tell you how serious this problem is. Even the IRS has to protect against this. I'll explain why. I buy pieces of real estate every single year. The money I make from my active business, I plow them into income produced. The money that I make from my active business, I usually plow all of that into oil and gas or real estate. Now with the amount of purchases I have done and the amount of income is going to be offsetted, I know the offset will pretty much wipe out any taxes on the income. So all the money that I'm paying in estimated taxes, it comes back with interest. But here's the thing, we are busy at the beginning of the year. It's easier to just pay them and move on with the business on January the 15th, which is the deadline for us to pay estimated tax. Is the safest option. I don't want to pay any extra penalties or interest just because I paid estimated taxes a little bit late or a little bit too less. So that's what I do. Coming January 15, I'll do it again. Pay the estimated tax, even though I know I will get it all back and I have done enough homework to get most of my money back that I paid in the estimated taxes. So this is the process that the IRS follows when I had to get that money back from them. Once my tax returns have been filed, they know what amount needs to be given back to me. When it comes time for them to pay me back the overpayment I've done, they follow a very safe and secure method. This is what they do. They send me a special PIN, which you have to go to enter in the online portal. Then also they cross-verify additional information just to make sure no one else filed a fraudulent claim or a return on your behalf and is requesting the money back. They have this entire process in place, which tells us this is a nightmare problem for them too as well. But they have to handle it the safest way possible. So much so that when a tax preparer in my firm tries to file my tax return, the IRS requires me to give them a special code, without which they will not accept that return. There are layers and layers of protection, and most tax preparers don't even encounter this in their entire career. But we see all kinds of situations in front of us. This is how bad the identity theft problem has gotten. Even the IRS, with all the resources, all the technology, have to build multiple layers of verification just to protect people from fraudulent tax return claims. Let me show you some behind the scene that happens in our firm all the time and we see very frequently happening. How electronic deliveries help our clients stay on top of any fines and penalties. Let me explain a different scenario that you probably never heard of. So some of our clients, after we file taxes for them and the IRS accepts them, these clients end up owing a small amount of money. Why? Well, sometimes the clients forget that they worked a job for a couple of weeks and they didn't really like the job, they left the job, and their employer did not have the right address or information for our client and they never turned in the W-2 on time. So number one scenario. Sometimes some of the companies, they just are smaller companies, then they are behind on their compliances and they never turned in their 1099 or W-2. Sometimes clients forget a small check they got from the bank for interest payments and they forgot to turn that in. And it's a common mistake that happens. Now the IRS does not ask you to go and file a different return when something like that does happen. All they say is, hey, we calculated everything and it looks like you a little bit more, a couple $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, usually no more than that. To be pretty accurate, but sometimes it does happen where a client end up owing some small amount of money. But the good part is when you set up electronic deliveries, you get notified in email that you have a document to review. You log into your portal, you review the document, and now you have access to the bill that they need to pay, and it will explain why, but they can just go ahead and make the payment online pretty much the same day they get the notice. So there are no additional interest or penalties, which they are adding up already because of the small difference. So you're not further dragging the one problem that you're trying to get rid of. Well, in this case, they just get notified by the IRS via email. They log into their account and they see exactly what they owe. They pay that small fee and they move on with their life. Our client knows this. If this happens, they know what to do and they're expecting it. They are not surprised. Everything goes as planned. It is part of the plan. In other words, we avoid any surprises. No envelope showing up 3 months later with penalties added. No, we sent a letter that got lost in the mail. No complaining about, hey, we sent you a letter and we got lost in the mail. Just a simple email notification. You log in, pay, you're done, and you move on with your business. Now, if you think registered agent services are expensive or they are unnecessary expense, maybe you're not looking at the other side of it, because you know what else could be more expensive? A lawsuit, because someone found your home address in public records and decided you looked profitable. The cost of the service is nothing compared to what it does to protect you from and what kind of people it protects you from. Plus, think of all the money you will save not having to attend How to Avoid the Lawsuit 101 seminar. So here's your homework. Set up electronic deliveries from the IRS. Go to irs.gov, create an online account, and turn on electronic notification. Make sure you turn off paper deliveries and take 10 minutes to finish this task and record those credentials somewhere safe so you can access them the next time you want to use them. Step 2. Do the same for your state tax agencies. Most states have online portals now. Sign up and get alerts on your email or phone or a mobile app. Step 3. If you own any type of real estate or a business, consider a registered agent services, especially if your home address is currently on public record. Couple $100 a year for privacy protection, it is well worth the money. Step 4. Review what important mails you are getting physically. If you are getting bank statement in the physical mail, try to set up Go Paperless. If you're getting credit card statements, try electronic delivery. Same thing goes for business correspondences. Secure portal. The less sensitive information sits in a physical box, the better it is. Look, my friend here in Austin learned this lesson the hard way. $4,000 was gone because a scammer was better at their job than he was at protecting himself. And this is a smart guy, a business owner, careful with money, and they still got this guy. Scammers are improvising. And the thing is, scammers are getting better. They are professionalizing. They are sharing strategies. For all we could know, they are holding webinars, cold calling, mastery, and IRS edition. We can protect. We don't know what their next move is going to be, but we can do the obvious things to protect ourselves. Go paperless, whether you are filing taxes, getting bank statements, or dealing with the government agencies. Use registered agents if you own properties, even if it's just your home. Keep your information secure. Don't make it easy for a scammer to target you. Don't make it easy for a lawyer to find your home address. These protections cost almost nothing compared to what they save you from. We offer all of this at D2 Tax as registered agent services, tax planning, assist protection strategies. We offer all of this at D2 Taxes, registered agent services, tax planning, asset protection strategies for individuals, families, and businesses. And the best part is we offer you all of this for free. The first 30 minutes of consultation, the link is in the bio. I am Dhirendra. I am a co-owner of D2 Tax. Protect yourself and your family. Don't let what happened to my friend happen to you. $4,000 was not much of a money for my friend. And in 15 minutes, $4,000 is a lot of money for some people. See you in the next one.